So, are you a golfer that's looking to buy new clubs, new equipment, and you go out to find a review and you don't know, can I actually trust that review? Has a company actually paid for that review? Well, today I have the owner and founder of a company that makes sure that does not happen and provides honest, accurate, unpaid for reviews. And we're going to talk about that today on the ModGolf YouTube channel. All right, so today I have Adam Beach, who is the founder and owner of MyGolfSpy. And if you've been around a golf club long enough, you've probably heard of MyGolfSpy and the great things that they do to give you, the consumer, accurate reviews of equipment that they are very, very brutally honest about. And there he is. So I've got Adam with me here. Adam, hey, thanks for joining me today on the ModGolf YouTube channel.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Adam, you and I had an audio conversation there for the Mod Golf podcast. So we really dug into the origin story of MyGolfSpy. So we're not going to duplicate that, and I do encourage our viewers to become listeners and go back and below in the comments and the notes we do have the link to that. But I want to touch on a couple of other things here about MyGolfSpy. But before we get started here, why don't you give an overview? Why don't you give the pitch? Let our viewers know if they haven't heard of MyGolfSpy. Tell us what you do and why you do it.
I think the simplest way to put it is how most readers explain it, which is the consumer reports of golf with a little bit of an edge. So if golfers buy something, we want to test it and make sure that your money is well spent.
Love this. Love this. So I want to talk about the kind of the evolution over the years that you've brought to the consumer. And yeah, some stuff is, I'm going to put it, I don't know, serious is the right term, but I definitely it is, factual information for, this is what we review and this is what you get. But I look at your website and I see you're doing some other things in your ball lab that maybe have a bit of, how can I put, a bit of levity or a bit of fun to it. I want to talk about that a little bit. I see one you've got here where you've got a mud ball versus scuff ball review. Tell us about those type of reviews you do. It seemed to me to be a bit more fun. So yeah, tell us about that.
Well, I'm just always curious. And like I said, there's so many things that golfers encounter in a round of golf that have never been tested because no magazine really had any incentive to do these tests monetarily. So everybody's had a dirty ball. Everybody's had a used ball. Your ball is used after the first time you hit it off the tee. So is there a difference? Is there not a difference? How much of a difference? Is it worth playing this, playing that? Should you put a line on a ball? Should you not? Should you use a claw grip? Shouldn't you? Should you use a wooden tee or one of these tees that say they give you 4 more yards? They're all things that we thought needed answers. So that's what we do as well.
Love this. Love this. So without dropping names of companies, or maybe you want to, I'll leave that to you. Even in the last year, what products, or just tell us a couple of stories here of what you reviewed and maybe your expectations weren't that high and you and the team were just blown away on the review, and maybe that other end of something that you were completely underwhelmed on a product that you thought was going to perform a lot better than it did.
Yeah, I'll give you two different products actually from the same company. I'm not really surprised at this point, but Vokey wedges are, you know, they're the number one wedge when anybody names what wedge they want to play for the most part. They're the most played wedge pretty much on the tour, number one selling wedge. But for the last 3 years, the MG series tailor-made wedges have won at MyGolfSpy's wedge test. And we knew they were good inside the facility, but it's one of those things where we like to call brand washing. So many consumers are brand washed to believe something. Scotty Camerons are the best putters. This product is the best over that. But our testing doesn't care about brand biases. So it just tells you and reveals who's the best. And the MG wedges have been the best wedges 3 years in a row, which I think is shocking to a lot of golfers. The TaylorMade golf balls, the TP5 model in our ball test, sell really well. A lot of the best golfers in the world play them. They did not perform up to what we think they should have in our ball test, and they were far from it. So that was a shocker. PXG clubs, a lot of people have um, they have a lot of allure for different reasons. The initial price that they came out at, the owner, the branding, the commercials. But overall, over the years, they really haven't tested that well. Maybe one or two here, a putter here. Uh, One of the cheaper models, the 0211 drivers have, but the other ones have performed below what I think that they would like them to test like.
Gotcha, gotcha. And you don't have to name names here of founders or CEOs or leadership of companies, but when you do test a product and the review is poor or low, uh, I'm sure you've got a lot of blowback over the years, or all caps emails, or cease and desists, or whatever. So yeah, so share some stories there that so I know you've got the legal team there, and you just push back also that maybe make you chuckle a little bit that you've had with companies then trying to bully you a little bit over the years.
Yeah, before I started MyGolfSpy, I did some research on companies that were similar to ours to see what kind of road I had ahead of me. And I think at the time, could be wrong, but this is what I remember reading, that Consumer Reports was the most sued media outlet in the world. And I don't know if you're probably old enough to, like I am, to remember the Suzuki Samurai. Um, that's where it started from. The Suzuki was a small SUV that tipped over really easily. Consumer Reports told the consumer that, and it pretty much destroyed the Samurai. Um, and they got sued for it and won. As far as I recall, they've never lost, because a lot of it comes down to personal versus business. We forget that these are billion-dollar corporations, but they work really hard on these products, and we know that. And when they don't test well, they take it very personal.
Mm-hmm.
Their first instinct is to just say, we're going to try to threaten them, tell them to take it down, change what they did for testing. And they've done that over the years. They don't do it as much because I think they've learned, it's not going to probably work with us, but there's still companies. I mean, one just called us not too long ago that said that they thought our testers were being paid off because they think that their product should have performed better, or yeah, so it's always something.
I bet it is. So with you, as far as getting the brand message out there and to grow your audience with MyGolfSpy, mentioned to me that that you've also got a podcast that you do. I'm sure you create other content. I don't know if you're active on social media or even on YouTube. So tell me a bit about that. How do you go about kind of spreading the word that and raising awareness, and let's say as part of your marketing funnel to even attract more golf consumers?
It's changed over the years, but in the beginning, I looked at it as like restaurants. People that have good food don't need to do good marketing.
Yeah.
People will tell other people, and if you have good content, good people will come find out about it, and good people will tell other people about it. So for the first 5 years, we relied on that. We just said we're not going to care about the money. We're going to put good shit out there, and good people will come find us. And that's what we did. Knowing how to get ranked in the SEO world is obviously a game you got to play. So if you're going to put the content out there, it's better to have it ranked number one than ranked, number 50th.
All right.
So we taught ourselves that. But now there's never been a better time to compete on a level playing field with the biggest corporations in the world. Between social media wants authenticity for the most part. It doesn't get it all the time. I think it's very rare, but that's what they want, right? And that's what we try to provide. So I think that's been our number one marketing tool, is just authenticity. And
That's it's a timeless way to go about doing it, right? Yeah, do what you say and say what you mean, and be consistent about that. It's kind of what our parents always told us, right? Or our grandparents. It's kind of a universal truth, I guess. And it's my dad always told me, not as I don't know how you are with your dad. We always had the dynamics with the father-son thing, but he told me years ago when I was a kid, obviously when I was lying about something, he goes, son, goes, the truth is easier to remember than a lie. And that integrity piece there, and that's how you build trust. And you've obviously done that over the years consistently with MyGolfSpy. So hey, the couple minutes I have here with you, I want to talk about the future a little bit. So where do you see yourself going or expanding? I understand you've also got some other platforms that you've been developing and that you've even launched. So where do you see other opportunities or even other interests? What excites you in golf and maybe even beyond, and maybe even in other sports of where you see you spreading your entrepreneurial and venture wings in the future?
Could go a lot of different ways, but I would like to get rid of Golf Digest forever. I don't think it serves a great purpose for the end user and the consumer. I don't see that happening necessarily, but hopefully over time that will start to wane, and places similar to us, or other places, and they're happening, they're popping up, um, will start to rise to the top, and the other ones will start to go by the wayside. um, I was a designer before MyGolfSpy of products, so I know and have tested products for a dozen years now. I know what makes a product perform well. I eventually would love to come out with our own brand of products that is affordable, that we know will perform well, and help more consumers. But there's all kinds of things. We have like a True Golf Fit golf fitting system. We want to continue to expand things like that. We want to cover lots of different content in better ways now that we have a little bit more bandwidth to do that. So we'll see. I mean, we started with equipment. A lot of people would have asked if we would do other sports similar to this. Uh, I don't really know if we would want to do that right now. It's a major undertaking
Yeah.
to do that. It takes a long time, but you could see it being cookie cutter to baseball or other sports as well.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that too. Okay, I gotta throw a question at you here that from the side here, non-golf question. I've asked this a couple of times, and I've loved the the kind of the spectrum of responses that I've received on this. So I'm gonna throw this one at you here, Adam. So, what do you consider the worst job you've ever had in your life, whether as a kid or a teen or whatever that is? And what is one positive takeaway from that, or maybe something that was negative that you flipped around that you've now embedded into the way that you approach life and business?
Man, I've had a lot of really strange jobs. I'll tell you that I worked construction for a long time, which taught me a lot of things. I think it wasn't the worst job, but I think it taught me the most. Um, it to taught me to be on time. It taught me that others are going to others need are going to rely on me. And when you tell somebody you're going to do something, you better do it, because this building, this house, this hospital you're building, if you don't do it right, then other people are going to have to pay the consequences later. So, you know, I hate to hear it, but it's measure twice, cut once. But um, really, just it's the same motto I've carried on to my golf spy. It's three words, and we try to tell everybody that comes on to my golf spy, and that's just do it right. And if you can't do it right, don't do it. And if doing it right takes longer, so be it. We have to push a lot of our testing. A lot of our readers get frustrated, like, "Hey, you said this was going to publish on Friday the 21st, and we had to push it to the 27th. Something wasn't right, and we had to get it right." So in today's world, so many people are focused on doing more.
Hmm.
I'm focused on doing less better.
Quality over quantity. I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. All right, last question for you here. As an entrepreneur, as a founder, you can't go it alone here. You don't work in a vacuum here. So, who has inspired you over the years, as far as an advisor or mentor, whether it's in your personal life or just someone that maybe through what someone that you've read about, or yeah, just tell us about that. Who inspires you and has helped motivate you and even kind of push you over the years?
Yeah, probably one of my best mentors for this business was a name that a lot of older golfers might remember. That was Dick De La Cruz. Dick De La Cruz, one of the pretty much founders of Callaway Golf.
Hmm.
Um, he also started Goldwyn Golf, that had the first milled driver. There was a bunch of firsts that he did. The S2H2 irons, the hosel through bore through. Um, Anyway, I was a designer designing a patent for a driver years and years ago. I needed advice. I picked up the phone and called the company. This guy answered the phone. We spent 4 hours on the phone together. Most people in this industry aren't out there to help you. He helped me until the day he passed away. But more than anything, he gave me the confidence to do this. I knew what I wanted to do, and I was hell bent on doing it, but I still lacked confidence in being able to know that I deserve to be here and play in the big leagues with these guys in the golf industry. And Dick had been to the top of the mountain, and I hadn't. I was at the bottom. I was at the first step.
Right.
And he goes, I'm telling you right now, Adam, you're going to do things in this industry that you don't know that you're going to be able to accomplish and help more golfers than you ever imagined. And that's all I needed to hear. And sometimes, especially for me, was a kid that was broke and didn't grow up with anything. All I had was an idea. I had work ethic. I knew I could outwork someone, but I needed somebody to tell me that that work I was going to be putting in was going to be worth it in the end. And yeah, he was just there. I just haven't had a better mentor in my life, and I hope everybody has. Reach out to people like that because I was against it. I didn't want to seem dumb. I didn't want to ask smart people questions because they would assume I wasn't smart. But what I've learned in life now is if I could go back and do it all over again, I would have gone to the smartest people and just gone straight to them. And if they said, I don't want to help you, son, fine. I would have moved on to the next one until somebody did. But the learning curve that increased by having those mentors has put me where I am now much quicker than if I would have done it all by myself.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I think Steve Jobs said, I remember this, that yeah, just ask. It's like, and he said one of the greatest things, just like you just touched on there, Adam, is like you just ask. The worst that's going to happen is someone's going to say no, and if that's the case, don't take it personally and just move on and ask someone else. So I know myself, I fell into that trap years earlier for the same reasons. I didn't want to inconvenience someone. I don't know enough. I don't have the confidence. And it is amazing how many people out there that they can pick up your energy and that they will help you and they will make the time. And so to finish up here, let's kind of flip it around here. You mentioned someone that inspired you, that was a mentor and an advisor. What advice can you give beyond what you just provided there a moment ago? Just expand on that for anyone out there watching that is a fledgling budding entrepreneur. They've got an idea, maybe don't quite know what to do or even have that confidence to take that next step. What you already gave some great insights also, but what else can you provide for people out there that have an idea but don't quite know where to go next?
I can just give it based on my experience, right? And my experience is the things that I've done in my life, whether it be business or personal, that have pulled me forward to be a better person or successful in whatever that definition is. Listen to your gut. Your gut knows 100% of the time. I had a ton of ideas, but when I hit the right one, there was zero question that that was what I needed to do. And whether that was driving across country like I did a few months ago in my truck, or, you know, going and living in Costa Rica for a month, or starting MyGolfSpy, or whatever it is, my gut and intuition told me what I needed to do. And in business, your gut will tell you. And if the only times I have not done well in some venture has been when I went against it.
Right. Wow. Great advice there. Well, hey, let's finish up there because I know you got to run. You got to jump on another call here, and I just want to say thank you for everything that you provided here today. This has been inspirational, educational, insightful, and enlightening. All the things, all those things. So, Adam Beach, founder and owner of MyGolfSpy. Before we finish up, why don't you let our viewers know where they can find out about MyGolfSpy?
Yeah, and first of all, thank you, but no reason to thank me. Really, this is my mission, and I thank all the readers that come to my Golf Spy because we wouldn't have a job if they didn't.
Right.
And so, where you can find us, pretty simple. Type in my Golf Spy into Google. You can find our website, all of our social media, whether you like to watch videos or just like to read content. We also have a site called True Golf Fit that helps golfers get, as we say, get fit sitting in your couch eating Cheetos rather than going in and having to drive to a store.
Love that. Love that. Well, down below, I'll include the links for both of those. So it's nice and easy for our viewers to get that. So, hey, Adam, again, thanks for joining me today on the ModGolf YouTube channel.
Yeah, thanks, man.